network raised words that day with Kurt. All the discussions we'd had before that, the events of that night. And by the time I had dropped my friends off, I had begun to see a new map of the world, one that was frightening in its simplicity, suffocating in its implications. We were always playing on the white man's court, Ray had told me, by the white man's rules. If the principal, or the coach, or a teacher, or Kurt wanted to spit in your face, he could, because he had power and you did not. If he decided not to, if he treated you like a man or came to your defense, it was because he knew that the words you spoke, the clothes you wore, the books that you read, your ambitions and desires were already his. Whatever he decided to do, it was his decision to make, not yours, and because of that fundamental power he held over you, because it preceded and would outlast his individual motives and inclinations, any distinction between good and bad whites held negligible meaning. In fact, you couldn't even be sure that everything you had assumed to be an expression of your black unfettered self, the humor, the song, the behind-the-back pass, had been freely chosen by you. At best, these things were a refuge. At worst, a trap. Following this maddening logic, the only thing you could choose as your own was withdrawal into a smaller and smaller coil of rage, until being black meant only the knowledge of your own powerlessness and your own defeat. And the final irony, should you refuse this defeat and lash out at your captors, they would have a name for that too, a name that could cage you just as good, like paranoid or militant.
This is a college-age Barry described in his book. This shows what he believes in, what shaped him. Here's a quote: "Any distinction between good and bad whites held negligible meaning," which means no matter what a white did, in his mind, they were wrong. They held the power over him. He gave his power to others. That's a personal choice. If you don't believe that someone has power over you, they won't. This is America. Everybody has the same rights. This is a man, in his own words, confesses that basically all whites are bad no matter their actions. Then he fed that hatred, this hatred. Everything to him is race, not America, not we the people. He later became a community organizer and met Reverend Wright, which he joined a Black Liberation Theology church, which fed this illusion that all blacks are being oppressed by whites in America, so let's overcome them and kill them. That's what black theology means. Please look it up. Barry carried this all the way to the White House with him, this belief. Remember, his father was an African in Africa. He was never a slave, nor were his ancestors in America. He was raised by white grandparents. Why the hatred for whites? Once you take off the media-fed rose-colored glasses, you see the evil and hatred underneath. It is no wonder we have 31 dead police officers ambushed by the Black Liberation Army in America. I have a video on We the People's YouTube channel that shows that, and shows all 31 officers in the beginning, called Black Liberation, Murder, and Treason. This is Barack Hussein Obama's religion. There are links below to the articles. The sources all claim in the video, but just listen to him in his own words. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something. Please check out the articles below, subscribe, and share. The fight for freedom never ends. Thank you.